Hey, welcome to another edition of Sledshot.com. We've had a few comments lately of people looking to know how to summarize their sled. And as you can see, winter's pretty much over here, and we're going to pick away at the sleds and summarize everything up. As for an order of events as you summarize your sled, one of the first things to do is to add your fuel stabilizer into your fuel, into the gas tank. And from there, you want to let the machine run for a while and make sure that stabilized fuel is starting to cycle through the machine. And then as it cycles through, after you let it run for a few minutes, then open up the carbs and use your storage oil to spray into the carburetors. And that way you can fog the sled after it's already stabilized. So it's a good habit as well to store your machines with as little fuel as possible in them. This particular machine was used this last day, put on a fair amount of kilometers, and only has about 1/8 of a tank of gas left. So make sure, depending on what product you use, there's a lot of different products out on the market. This particular product, a can this size, treats 95 liters of gas. So with only maybe between 5 to 7 liters of fuel left in the tank, we're only going to use a small amount of this. But like I said, it does vary with many different kinds of products. We're ballparking how much fuel is in the tank by its nice digital gauge that it's got on the sled. I figure about this much should do. About that, I think. Rocket science. Now, as that stabilizer mixes with the fuel, we can turn the machine on and run that stabilized fuel through the machine for a little while before we go and fog the machine. A couple things to think about when you are going to store your sled. It depends on if it's an inside storage or an outside storage for the summer. Obviously, if it's outside, you take a few extra precautions, protect from the elements, as well as protect it from nature. And some of those things to do is to plug the exhaust port, just so no little small mice or anything gets up inside your exhaust. For the summer as well, keep it covered, keep the sun off it. Sun can do some pretty amazing damage over the course of the summer as well. And if you're doing inside storage, obviously the same kind of stuff. Put a cover over it, keep the dust out of the air boxes and that kind of stuff. And then the obvious things as well, like storage oil. Just going to put some storage oil into the carbs. This is a carbureted machine. This is a 2009 800 Bombardier. And we're just gonna spray some storage oil into the carbs. And to get at the carbs, just gotta remove belt cover. And the air box. And the belt. Now that the air box is removed, gives you, I guess, direct access to the carburetors. And we'll fire the machine up, let it run for a sec, let it warm up, and then we'll rotate with the storage oil back and forth between each carburetor as it idles. And basically what we want to look for is either the machine will eventually just shut off on its own, or we just keep spraying until we see the heavy white smoke come out of the exhaust. And once we see that heavy white smoke, it means that enough oil has gone through the system to lubricate everything and keep it ready for the summer. So one of the cool tricks I've seen along the way is to put a little bend in the spray nozzle. And that way you can hold your can, and as you spray carb to carb, gives you a nice easy way to get it in the carburetors. We're just going to fire this sled up. Let it warm up for a second. You can see how white the smoke's getting now. Done. So after you have the stabilizer in the sled and you fogged it, So a couple extra things to think about is maybe taking the weight off the suspension for the summer. So either blocking up the front and then lift the rear as well off the ground. And that way you're just taking the pressure off the suspension, not packing your springs up. As well, clean it up, I mean, as best you can. Lots of people put their sled away that's just caked with mud from spring riding at the end of the season. And then when they're ready to go in the fall, first day out, pull their sled out, it's covered in mud. It's pretty disappointing. So something to think about there. And yeah, cover it up. Make sure it's protected from the elements. See you in the fall. So thanks for tuning in for this last edition of our videos for the summer. And yeah, we'll see you in the fall. Peace.